this was as bad a weekend as I've experienced as a Blue Jays watcher in a long time. I mean, just, you're hopeful that Manoah can go out and give a decent outing, and maybe that sort of gives them a little bit of juice as they head forward. That outing wasn't great. They blow whatever. They score 8 runs and can't win. I mean, just like the team, Bo looks lost. It's so weird, John, like, and Bob, in that, like, they score 8 runs in a game and you feel miserable watching it. It's a weird thing.
Okay, Bob, you're John Schneider. Manoah's out there floundering in that, what was that, the 4th inning, 5th inning?
Third, I think.
Third.
Okay, he's out there floundering. Don't you get him out? Don't you take him out?
Well, I guess so, but their bullpen hasn't been any good lately either.
Terrible.
So, who are you going to put in there?
No,
who's the long guy right now?
Yeah. Also, you got to give him John, in some ways, it's a big audition for him, and you want to give him a chance to get out of it.
Yeah, so, but I guess my thought is that we know he's fragile. He's oh so fragile. The first 2 innings, I think it was 5 strikeouts in the first 2 innings, looked pretty good, and then the roof fell in.
Yeah,
should have, and then actually got it. In the end, I guess maybe it didn't matter, but like the fact that there's an error to start that game, like the one guy you want to have a clean inning is Alek Manoah, and Bichette has an error in the first game, but yeah, I mean, they're going to pitch him again, so he's in the rotation. That he'll get another outing. I think it might be.
But they'll pitch him because they have to.
Yeah, it does. I think it looks like it'll come Friday. I don't think you'd want him against the Orioles, so I think it'll come Friday against the Twins. But
the Twins may be better than the Orioles right now.
I mean, I don't know how you can feel good about it. I hope it's a better outing. But like, again, like we've talked about this on the show many, many times. I mean, I don't know what the solution is. They're organizationally, they don't have minor league depth. So it's not like somebody's going to come up and be like, Davis Schneider for those 3 weeks. Their bullpen has been awful. I mean, Eric Swanson, I think at this point, is unpitchable.
No, you can't pitch him. You got to get rid of him.
So it's just like, you went from what looked like to be a strength to the only 2 guys at this point, John and Bob, I feel like you can rely on are Jordan Romano and Jimmy Garcia. And you saw what happened when Garcia wasn't pitchable. Like everything blew up. So it is still early enough where things can turn around, but the Washington series was as bad a series as I felt as a Blue Jays watcher in a long time.
Yeah. Well, I agree. I don't know why they put Swanson out there when they did. He has been horrible all year. And I gave up as soon as they called Swanson in from the bullpen. I literally, it was 8-8 at the time, I think.
Yeah, I don't blame you. But what would give you confidence that he I mean, I don't like to be reactionary ever as a sports fan or observer, but
that's what we do.
The reality is Eric Swanson has cost the Blue Jays 4 games this year already. 4.
There you go.
So that's and maybe you don't win all 4 of those games, but even say, let's say you split it down the middle. The 2 games is huge in a division where every single game matters. And what really is rough now for that organization, particularly for John Schneider, this was the guy last year who was essentially the setup man for Romano. I mean, he's a very, very important pitcher. They traded Teoscar for him.
Yeah.
And so this is a disaster right now if he cannot fix it. And I don't know what would give you any indication that he's fixing it. Something seems off on this guy.
And you think it's bad now. And I mentioned this to Bob on Thursday, that with the Maple Leafs being eliminated, there's a ton more focus going to be on the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah.
There's going to be a ton more discussion. And if this is the way they manage it when they're a little more stealth, I shudder to think what the next 10 days is going to be like.
Well, the thing that I think about now is, what do you do if you're the Blue Jays? Yeah. We can sit here and talk about trades, but who are you prepared to trade? You want a bat, but
honestly, do you see trades in Major League Baseball at this time of year, Bob?
Middle of the year, you do.
You saw one big one with the Marlins, but yeah, you don't see it yet. But again, I'm with Bob.
A lot.
What? I don't think replacing John Schneider is somehow the elixir. Maybe that turns out to be the move, but that doesn't change the the roster composition. I mean, what really should happen, I feel like at this point, and I'm sure I speak for a lot of Blue Jays fans, is they need an organizational change in terms of Ross Atkins, and who would then be connected to John Schneider. Unless something really dramatically happens, they are at the moment not a good team with not very good minor league depth, with two prominent players that they either have to sign or let go. Like they're
trade.
they're in a really not a good position right now. I mean,
No.
they sort of played everything to win over the last couple of years. They didn't. And now like the reckoning is going to come.